What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Moon Studio Iceland, their version of a Masterpiece Yukikaze. So if you're not familiar, I wasn't familiar, I took a look. This is from the Headmasters series. Yukikaze is one of 6 trains that make up the combiner Raiden. So this is going to be the leg for Raiden. We'll take a look at that mode a little bit later. But really kind of exciting because it's a giant combiner, very big, and also it's the first kind of thing we've gotten new from what is supposedly Zeta Toys' new company called Moon Studio. So not necessarily convinced myself that this is Zeta or not Zeta, but that's the belief anyway. So let's take a look at this guy. He's got some really nice detail on him. You've got the yellow and red paint here. The thing is fully painted everywhere. So all the silvers and whites and greens and blacks, everything you see is painted on this guy. A nice detail here. The head sculpt is really cool looking. I think also pretty accurate. I'll put an image there if I can find one for this guy. Here's the back, very, very clean. The way they designed it, it just all folds up, nice and neat. The legs fold up, nice and neat. Only thing you've got maybe for kibble is these arms, but I believe that might even be accurate. We'll take a look, but really, really, really clean and well done. He does come with some accessories, so you get this gun here, which comes attached to this. So here's his handgun, has the little notch there for the hand. Now this is very similar to how Zeta Toys does business. Their tabs are usually look like this, so maybe it is, I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe they sold a design, I don't know. But nice looking gun, some red detail there on the inside. Overall, very very nicely done. And then this one he can hold, but it is a very large weapon. So you can take this handle here, and it's a little tight, honestly. So I would suggest maybe a spudger or something. There we go. And you can, same thing, you've got the little notch there. Put that in his hand. And there you go. You can have this giant gun. Now my copy seems to hold it, but it is a little bit on the heavy side. But he can't hold that weapon. Gigantic weapon. This is really more meant for the combined mode because it looks right on the side. But if you don't like that there, you can fold that back up, and you got a little spot right here, and you can store that nice and secure on his back and out of the way, and doesn't seem to affect anything. So that's nice. Let's go over his articulation. You have the head on a rotating joint here. Goes up to there, down to there, side to side. Really nice movement on this head. Every direction you'd want there. Shoulders rotate all the way around on this joint. You go up and down. It's for transformation, but you do get that joint to rotate the arm. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double joint elbow, you can see the full bend here. Fingers are individually articulated. So the thumb is on a ball joint, so it has a joint inside the thumb and then a ball joint there. So you can get that kind of moving. And then each finger has 2 joints, one at the middle and then one at the base. So you can get some poses out of this. Not fully articulated like some hands we've seen, but pretty good. Pretty good. All right, moving down, you have a rotation at the waist. It is a little bit hindered by the backpack, but you can kind of just lift the backpack up a little bit. He's got a really interesting ab crunch, so he goes side to side. Now this is really for the combiner joint, so he doesn't really have a ab crunch per se, but you can get it up and to the side using that combiner joint. Come back down, you have hip skirts here that move out of the way. I like the design of these hip skirts. It does not make anything with the train. So they made this and painted this solely for the purpose of looking like the actual robot. So I really think that's a nice attention to detail to include that when it wasn't, it could have just been a black, you know, a gray hip skirt. Legs go up to there. This is full die cast, the entire thigh. Back to here on a ratchet as well. Out to the side on friction. Holds nicely. rotation at the thigh. You have a knee bend here. Occasionally, as you're bending this happens, this panel comes out. So I recommend holding it here in the middle and not here. Right, so this knee will bend 90 degrees. There is a joint there, so sometimes as you're pushing it back, it undoes that joint. And again, we'll see that in the combined mode, but you just have to hold that joint so it doesn't bend as you're bending the knee back into position. It's a very tight, toleranced joint there. Continuing down, you have an ankle tilt all the way out to there, really nicely done. And then back and forth here, and then the toe can tilt up and down. So you got some nice movement on those feet. And for size comparison, there it is next to the MP44 Optimus Prime and the Make Toys version of Chrome Dome. And it fits right in. He's obviously taller than both of them. These train bots are pretty big. I'm pretty surprised. I don't know if that's accurate to the show, but he does fit in nicely with the other Headmasters from that series. All right, now let's get Iceland transformed into his train mode. Go ahead and take the guns out of the hands here and off the back. And you can set those aside. Actually, what we can do is just put this in here and peg that in, and that's ready to be used in the train mode if you want to. All right, we'll set that aside. We'll start on the arms here. So go ahead and fold the hands up into the traditional cube shape that we do for putting the hands away for MP. We'll take the arms and open up this panel here. Open up this panel on the top. We're going to take the arm and collapse it down. We're going to unpeg it from the back here. So this whole thing is on a panel right here. So it's pegged into the back. That's going to fold up. There's a tab right there that's going to fit in right there. So get those tabs to meet up. There we go. And then get that pegged in. Take the hand. That's going to fold up and it's tabbed in right there. Down into here. And you can see how that panel came together to make that part of the train. All right, next we'll take this arm, same thing. Go ahead and take this panel, fold that out, fold this up, take the arm, collapse that down, and then fold the inner panel up and tab that into here. Take the hand, fold that down inside. This panel here is actually going to go move down on a slider, so slide those down. And that can sit there. We have a little bit more work to do there, so that's not quite ready to go in, but you can at least do the slider piece. Right. Go ahead and open up the chest, and that's where we're going to tuck the head away. Rotate this arm outwards, and you can fold this panel down. And same on this side. Rotate this down, and then take the entire thing and rotate it up. And that's going to make that section of the train, which is cool. Or you can take this panel now, fold that down. There's a tab right here. If you didn't slide it on the slider, it's not going to fit. So make sure you do that sliding mechanism. Come to the back, you can just unplug this right here. And then take this and come down to the side. And that can tab in. And there you go for that. All right, come to the backpack here, and then we're going to kind of unfurl all of this. So unpeg this, open that up, come to the bottom, we can open this up, and we're going to take this entire thing, and this is going to come down and peg into here. Our hand came up here. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3 peg points there, or 4 peg points there. So we're going to get that pegged in. Okay, and then you can plug these in on the side. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, and this is going to unpeg from the bottom here. This is on a slider, so slide it down like this, and then pull it all the way around, and then slide that back in. Open up these little flaps. They don't open all the way, so don't try to force these open. Just open them a little bit. Then this is going to peg into the back, and then go ahead and close those panels back down. Now we can take this panel. This is going to come down and fit right in here. I love the way this is designed. Just cool how it comes together so intuitively. All right, so there's the back of the train. Now let's take care of the front, the legs. Probably the more complicated part, but still not nothing obnoxious or anything like that. Go ahead and take this panel, lift that up. Come to the back here, we're going to unpeg this panel. That's going to free this up. And then come to the back of the leg and free this up. You can take these wheels, flip those around, and just leave those there for now. And we have to open up this panel here on the inside of the leg. So pull out on this joint here. And let's see, this is a very tight joint. Okay, there we go. So got that out. Take the foot. This is going to come and collapse down the toe. Take this, and this is going to fit in here. There is a tab right there, so you can kind of see how this is going to fit in here. So this is just going to store inside. It's really cool design. So get that folded and stored in there. All right, now we're going to get all this stuff out of here, and there's a lot of stuff inside here. So first, take this panel, unpeg it from here. It's pegged into the back, and that's going to come all the way up. And the higher up you can get it, the better, because you have to fold out this little tiny panel right here. It's a little bit hard to reach, hard to get to, but you want to fold up this panel right there. And then once you have that panel, you can bring this back down. And that's going to just sit just like that. Come to the bottom here, and we can fold this kind of out of the way and open up that flap. Come to the bottom, open up this on the bottom here, and that's going to accordion down and fold down this flap here. You can see that's going to make the front of the train. Fold out the nose cone. You got to kind of have it at this angle, and then fold it out, and then back on top. Right, so there's the nose. Take this, and this is going to come out, so you're probably going to have to put it back in later, but this is going to peg in here. You just leave it in that location for now. Right, fold this panel back down, and that's going to sit like that. Then you're going to collapse this together, and it does peg in, so you can see the peg points there on the inside. So make sure you hit those peg points. And on the top, there's a couple of peg points as well. So get that all collapsed in. On the top here, get this pegged in like that. So there's the front of the train. And like I mentioned, this will probably come out again, so don't worry too much about that right now. All right, come to the back here, rotate this panel, and leave that there for now. Then we'll do this next to last. And lastly, we're going to take these wheels, fold those up. You may need a spudger, especially at first, because you have a little panel here on the inside of the wheels, and it's very tight. So I like to push from the bottom, but I found that no matter what, this little tiny thing is very tight. But you got to rotate that, and what that does is it blocks the wheel from folding back down. All right, so that's pretty much one side done. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I'm going to do this one a little bit faster since we just did it over here. All right, have the wheels kind of folded inwards. We're going to take the legs, bring them together. And we do want to put this together. So you see all the 1, 2, 3, 4 peg points on the front. On the inside there's one, and then there's one in the middle. So you got to get all that on at the same time. It is a very tight tolerance on this, so you got to really give it a good squeeze, and you want to get this together too. But everything is very tight and nice. Nothing feels loose. All right, let's see. Get this together. It's a very tight fit, and this is an issue. I'll talk about that in a second. And this middle one is probably the tightest because of the paint, but that's about as good as you can get it. And now this panel is on a ball joint, so sometimes it pops off. You can just kind of get it lined up and then pop that back on. So in order to avoid that, what you have to do is rotate the bottom, get that in, and then rotate the top. If you try to do the whole thing, it pops off that ball joint. So, right, and then line up the back and get those pegged in. There's two pegs. There's an over-under tab, and then there's just a straight tab. All right, so that's one side. Come to this side, same thing. All right, go ahead and rotate the bottom, and this one seems to pop off much easier, but let's see if we can do it. Here we go. Get that in. You can fold that up to get these two in. So that's over under, and then this is just a straight tab. Take the roof and hold this down. You have to push these so that the L's go inside. So you want these legs to go down and under. And then this has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the front 5, 6 tabs. So you got to get them all kind of in at the same time. All right, and the final step is to come to the bottom, and we lost this panel. Come to the bottom, and we're going to take these two wheels, make sure they're open, and these are going to peg into each other. So you can see it's over under tab again. So get them lined up and then push down, and that'll lock it in place. And don't forget to close the little locking pin. And it is very hard to get to, so I recommend a spudger or something to just give you a little leverage. There we go. So if you can see that little tab, make sure you rotate, and that'll lock the wheels. All right, same on this one. Open these up and then lock the pin. All right, and this one as well. Here we go. And there we have Iceland in his train mode. Really, really beautiful. It is fully painted. There's some nice details. So you got the translucent headlights here on the front, translucent glass here. You got nice silver paint. All of this is paint, so the white, the green, and the gray on the top. Nice details here. You got the windows, the doors, all that looks great. Here's the back. You got the rear door there, which you're actually going to take off for the combined leg mode, so we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Here are the wheels. The wheels do turn, so you can put it down and get it kind of turning, or you can get it to go straight. Now, it didn't come with tracks, so I borrowed some tracks here from Fans Toys Thomas. It does fit on the track, but it doesn't roll on the track. So you can just have it on display like this. I'm not planning to roll this around anyway, so it doesn't matter, but you can have this look here. And I think that looks really nice. It fits in just fine. You can take the weapons here, so the weapon combined this way will fit right there. So you can get that and plug that in, and that looks cool. And for size comparison, there it is next to MP10. Makes sense. Pretty big train. I don't know if this is actually to scale. I think the train will probably be bigger in real life, but it's fine for me and my display. I think this would be a good size to have for a train and an MP display. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his combined mode. So the final mode here. So go ahead and open up this roof. Now again, if you need a spudger for popping this up, it makes life a little easier. So go ahead and pop that up and just fold that forward for now. I'm going to take this panel here, and that's going to open up and fold downwards and sit like that. Go ahead and come to the sides here, unpeg this. And again, you have to do that over-under part here, so get this rotated up and then rotate this part so you can get that peg out. And then just fold that forward. Same on this side. Rotate, or unpeg it from the back here first. Then, and see, that's what I was talking about. If you don't do it in the right order, sometimes these panels come out. All right, so we'll get that back on there. So leave these kind of open. We're going to bend at the mid thigh. So right here is where he bends. And it is very strong. Feels nice and sturdy. All right, so get that all the way forward. This is going to fold downwards and then fold back up and just sit like that. You can kind of have this however you like. I'm just, if you want to do it like the book, something like that. Go ahead and take these two panels. These are going to fold back. And again, you've got to work this the right way, right? Put the bottom in first and then fold the top. Right here is going to be the tab to tab it into the side of the leg. Pretty firm tab. Same with this side. Fold the bottom in first and then the top. And then get that pegged in to the side of the thighs. Close down this panel first and then this panel, and then they're going to peg together. So just line those up. Get that pegged. And come to the bottom here. We're going to take these wheels. You're going to fold down these panels right here. I kind of already did them, but these securing tabs have to fold down, and then you can fold the wheels down. Same on this one. Go ahead and fold down the securing tabs right here and here. Then you can fold the wheels down. Open this up, and this is going to peg in right here. So you got to straighten up those wheels. Peg that in. And there is Iceland in his combiner leg mode. Really cool looking. Really quite simple actually, but yet effective. Very solid. There's nothing really moving. Even this panel, very, very solid. You do have articulation right here, so it's that same chest joint. If you open that up, you can get the leg angled out. Now, in the promo pictures on the box and online, you see that this is the left leg, but on the original, I think it was often the right leg. So I'm not sure. I mean, it can bend either way, so you can make it either one, I believe, but we'll see when the final one comes out. You do get this weapon here, and this can plug in right here. So there's a tab and a slot that fits in right here. And you can have that look. I mean, if you don't like this, you can take this off the gun, but I like to put it there just for storage. And that looks really cool. Really well done. So you get the side-to-side movement. You get back and forth with the hip joints. So you can move back and forth. So all the movement you'd want on a foot. Really well done. And then there's the combiner port. It looks like things are going to slide in here and connect somehow. We'll find out more when we get the next bots. But there you go. Really nice looking combine mode. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to a Headmaster. This is the Point Blank from Make Toys, and you can see about the same size as this guy in robot mode. So this is a big combiner. This leg alone is really big, so the whole thing is going to be a really large combiner. So final thoughts on the Moon Studio Iceland. Let's start with the positives. I think this thing looks great in all three modes. The robot mode, the train mode, and the combined mode all look good. Typically with combiners, especially Zeta, they sacrifice one mode. Usually it's a robot mode that suffers. But I can say very confidently this robot mode is awesome. They did a great job designing this. It doesn't feel like Zeta. It feels like a new company. You know, nice die cast here in the feet, in the thighs. Overall quality of the plastic is really high. The paint job is fully painted and it's done well. It's not flaking off or anything like that. And so I'm just really impressed. Typically, I would see the one mode kind of suffers, and none of them really suffer. So that's kudos to them. I do like the accessories. Both guns look nice. This one's a little bit on the heavy side, but mine seems to work okay. I noticed some people, it droops down or falls. But I think it's a great looking gun set. I also think that the train mode is really nice. The size of the train and the size of the robot fits in well with the MP size, and for $110 retail compared to the Takara, which is $160, you're getting a great deal of bot for your money. So that's really nice. Negatives wise, I don't love this panel right here on the side of the legs, because when you're trying to transform it, if you don't get it exactly right, it pops off that ball joint, and then you're sitting there messing with trying to get the ball joint off. That's it. That's the only negative I have. I really think they did a knockout job on this guy. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of the sets. G. Tony's sending those my way so we can do the full combined mode. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. You can pick this up from Toy Dojo. The link is in the description below, and we'll see you next time.